Today we're going to talk about hydration, different tips to make it a little bit easier. There are many reasons why hydration could be hard. Either, you just don't feel thirsty, or you're really busy and you are feeling thirsty, but how do I get it all done? So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about how to make it happen. For me, one of the best ways to make hydration happen is if I'm enjoying what I'm drinking. I will find ways to sneak in sips. But a lot of the things that I really enjoy drinking have either a lot of sugar in them or a lot of unknown ingredients in them. And so I started making these drinks that are somewhere between lemon and water and a mocktail. So we're going to dive right in. Tip number one, get yourself a relatively large glass. When you have a larger glass, if you are in the zone where you just keep sipping, you can just do that for longer. So make larger batches. If I have a little puny Magoonie glass, while this glass is adorable, um, it doesn't keep me on a roll in the same way. I have to keep going back and making more or getting more water. So I am a really big fan of a big glass. This is a pint. Quite often, I'll do a quart. Like the pint is a bare minimum. I also like a fun glass though, because if it's visually appealing, then I see it and then I want to sip it. Also, it's a little side note, but if you are going the mocktail route at an occasion, other people are often more supportive. And this is just my personal experience because I was not drinking before it was cool. Other people tend to make less comments if your drink looks so good that they want some too, right? So if my drink is gorgeous, other people tend to not make, why aren't you drinking kind of comments to it. Just something I noticed. So fun glasses. I've got this pretty one over here. I've got like a cool double-walled one that doesn't sweat. It doesn't have to be in a pretty glass, but if that's something that's fun for you and you already have kicking around your house, that's another way to make it feel a little bit more like self-care rather than like chore list. And something that I'm doing that feels fun always gets done. Okay, next thing. I like a little bit of sweetness in my water. So that's where the fruit comes in. I'll do mango chunks. Strawberries are really awesome. Frozen pineapple. You can also cut up, if you really love lemon, you could cut up chunks of lemon or other citrus. I do like them frozen because then I can put them in place of ice cubes, and frozen fruits release their flavors much better. The freezing breaks the cell wall, then it thaws, and then the flavors come out. This is the same reason why it hurts so bad to freeze your fingers and then have them thaw. It's because there is damage happening. And then I also need a base. So sometimes I'm all in with just straight water. That is fine. But the seltzer does add a little bit of something. If you like a little fizz, either a completely plain, unflavored seltzer is awesome, or you want to get crazy with it, you can add flavor with your seltzer as well. You could add other things for your base too, right? If you happen to have iced tea kicking in your fridge, or you just made, fresh, warm tea, and you would like it iced, you can use your frozen fruit to release the flavors and cool down your iced tea and make yourself something truly decadent very fast. So that is always awesome. And then there are other things that you can add to your drink too. Like I tend to go on the herb garnishes, partially just because I like those flavors, but I also kind of like the color. You don't have to. You could throw in an edible flower. You could throw in nothing at all. There are other things that you can add that don't add a ton of sweetness. They just add a little bit of flavor. These are, again, very optional, but orange bitters is something that I'll keep in the house just because it's fun addition and fun makes it happen. Or sometimes people will add like a rose water or other things like that. So if you've got, oh, and vinegars for a little zippiness, if you're a kombucha person, you like that flavor profile of like that vinegar tang rather than a citrus tang, Another excellent, excellent direction to go in. Why not? So if you do go vinegar, start slow. If you go with any of these liquid flavor additions, add a tiny bit, come back and add more after you taste it. Um, that's a really important tip there. So we're gonna get started. If you can see the recipe card in the chat, it's pretty high up there. It just says hydration recipe card. And you'll see, just like so many of my recipes, this is more of a concept rather than a prescriptive recipe. Throw together things that you like. So I'm going to just not make any of the recipes. I'm going to make a couple of things that sound good to me today. Step one, we're going to make something tropical. So I'm going to throw into my glass about a cup of mixed fruits. I've got some frozen pineapple here. We're going to throw this in. I don't know. That's maybe a third of a cup of frozen pineapple. And then we're going to add a little bit of frozen mango. You can't really, from what I can see of what you can see, you can't really see my glass here. So let me just adjust that. I'm just taking a handful of frozen mango. My guideline for this is about half of the glass has fruit in it. So if you could see this, like hard for me to see exactly what you could see, but this has about half the glass full of fruit now. And then I'm going to use my plain seltzer just to add a little bit of zippy fizz to it. So we're going to add some here. And I'm going to leave myself just a little bit of room because now I want to add just a little bit of orange juice. So I'm going to cut my orange into quarters here. And I'm just going to do a quarter of orange juice. Just for fun there. And then I don't really want the mint flavor that much, but I want a little bit of color because that makes it happen for me. So I'm just going to pull off two of these little mint leaves, drop them in. Now, I don't know how well you can see this. You certainly can't see the top too well, but it smells amazing already. And the fruit hasn't even had a chance to really diffuse. We just have a little bit of orange juice on top. But in about 5 minutes, I'll give this a sip and almost guaranteed those flavors are going to just start bursting out. All right, so we've got our tropical one. Oh, you know what? I happen to have orange flower water, orange blossom water, and because this is for me, I'm throwing in some orange blossom water, because that'll make it taste just extra perfumey and scrumptious, and I'm dehydrated, so let's go. All right, option two, we're gonna do a strawberry one. And I think I'm going for strawberry iced tea now. I think that'll be good. So I'm going to just crack it here.
See, how's it going? Good. How are you? Good.
Oh, we've got somebody unmuted. If you don't mind just double checking your mute situation. All right. This glass will probably be much easier to see. Okay, you've got about half the jar of strawberries here, frozen strawberries. Now I'm going to add iced tea. I do love mint in my iced tea, so I'm going to show you now how I actually get the herbs to release a little bit of their flavor. I'm going to take an extra strawberry or two, and you could absolutely do this with ice cubes if you didn't want a fruity flavor in your drink. But I'm going to take my strawberries and I'm just going to sort of squash my mint between two strawberries. This works awesome with pineapple or mango because the chunks are more square, but I just sort of take the flat side of the strawberry. Hopefully you can see that. And I squash it and muddle it a little bit. If I was muddling with, in a cocktail sense, I'd probably use sugar in a spoon or sugar in like a muddler situation. But the freezing of the mint slightly with the strawberry and the squashing of it does pretty well for releasing some flavor. And then I submerge the mint. If I really want the mint to release its flavor, I do not let that little guy sit on top. I submerge it. And then, because I'm visual, I've got a backup mint sprig to make it pretty on top. So this is the second beverage, a lovely murky brown from what you can see. But from what I could see, there's like a very pretty pink tint, and then the top has this gorgeous green for contrast, which really helps to make it exciting. I'm having a hard time not drinking this one already as well. I did use decaf tea. I can't remember if I said this already, but I did use decaf tea because caffeine will dehydrate you, especially if you're not used to caffeine. Um, the way that caffeine stimulates your body is it acts as a diuretic. And if your goal is hydration, we don't want that. Oh, people are carpooling over to help me finish these drinks. I don't blame you. Um, so yeah, that's the reason I'm using decaf tea. Herbal tea also works awesome for this. And if you like an iced mint tea or any, there are fruitier flavors of teas like the zingers, those are stellar, these recipes. Um, as you can see, there are sort of countless variations that I could do. I'm feeling particularly tempted to make another one. I should probably wait until I drink these. But I'm feeling very tempted to make like a basil lemonade or a basil orange lemonade. Rosemary also works very well with these. I have backup sprigs in here, but the rosemary and basil also work super, super well in drinks. They taste very, very fresh and just enticing, especially with those citrus flavors. Um, and pineapple has a super awesome zip that somehow just really works with those herbal flavors as well. And now we see other people chiming in here. Okay, Casey likes to let fruit soak in plain water in the fridge for a day or two, and it's fine. Um, yeah, absolutely. You can let things infuse in the fridge. It takes a little bit more time than if you use frozen fruit. It does work out fine though. Sometimes, if anybody ever has had sangria experiences that were not awesome, sometimes things can get funky. But if you keep them cold or use plenty of fruit and then remove the fruit, that really helps, not just letting it all chill together on the countertop for too long. Another thing, in case you're worried about food waste, is many times when I drink this, I'll obviously drain the glass, and then I don't feel excited to add more water to the same fruit. I eat the fruit. It still has flavor in it from just, this much water. So a cup of water with a cup of fruit, probably. I'm pretty sure this is about a pint glass. And that is delicious. So you have that hydrating benefit like you would have with watermelon, a juicier food that you're eating with your drink. So I hope that was helpful. If anybody has any other hydration tips, please leave them in the chat. I am going to also leave in the body or in the chat here our survey so you all can let us know how this was for you. Take care and have a wonderful afternoon.